All right, so today we're checking out the Timbrecod DC80 4K external monitor. Let's get that hair off of it. There we go. So this thing's great. It's got an aluminum body. It feels really solid. The screen is super reflective, as you can see yourself right in it. You can even see my t-shirt and whatnot. The screen's super reflective, which can be a con if you're out in direct sunlight. It can make it seem a little less bright than it actually is, because that reflection is going to show all kinds of things. Like even if you're pointed off in a direction, you're still going to see a whole lot of like reflections from the trees behind you or whatever. So you have to, wear a big hat or something if you're going to use this in broad daylight. But in a whole bunch of other situations, it's really great. So we have HDMI in and HDMI out. That gives us that pass-through capability. So that means that you can, record 4K on your Sony cameras and see it on your monitor, and then also have another way to send that signal out somewhere else. I'm still doing some testing, but I think that this might affect color a little bit. I'll definitely update the review if I find anything negative about that. For right now, just assume that it sends out that HDMI signal just fine. I haven't had trouble except for one situation. I think that might have been my settings on my camera, so I will sleuth that out and figure it out. Yeah, so it's got headphones and AV in. So that means that you can pipe in an audio signal and monitor it at the same time. You will be able to see little audio scopes on there, which is great. And it's got all kinds of sweet little sleek controls up here. The best part about this screen, I think, is that it has a battery built in. So let's turn it on and check out what it's like. Been using it over on my little Blackmagic Pocket cinema camera, the original version. So you can see when it pops on, it is nice and bright. The reflective screen in here, because we have a really high light situation, makes it hard to see on the camera, but you can see that the contrast ratio is pretty good. So we're still getting, you can see that your scopes and whatnot through there. Let's get a signal into this thing with the little Blackmagic and show you what it looks like when a camera's on. All right, here we go. Getting signal out of here. I'm gonna adjust my settings so you can actually see something. Here is the side of my water bottle. Lovely. Just downright beautiful. So you can see as I move the, the declicked aperture ring on this thing. This is a nice little Vedra Mini Prime. As I move the aperture ring, you can see our histograms changing. And these scopes actually have pretty high sensitivity. I think they've actually added some gain so that you can see these even if you're barely getting anything. So that kind of highlight, that little tiny peak of a highlight up there, is like almost undiscernible. But I wouldn't see that on my actual camera monitor. If you look at the scopes on, wow, that screen is super dark. So you can see why we need this little monitor. Our scopes on the back of this don't even show any peaks up in that range. So it's definitely a situation where it's going to show you a little bit more than what your camera is going to show you, and that can be fantastic. It's also going to show you audio levels directly on the side, RGB parade, vector scope. This thing works pretty great. I've had a lot of good experiences with it. The battery lasts for a good long time. I've had it run for about an hour or two and not had a problem. But the good thing about it is you can also charge it via USB while you're using it, or DC in. So this DC in is that's where I definitely go to. I can plug it into a an NPF battery or something like that, and then this thing will last for days. It's fantastic. Gotta love those NPF batteries. Anyway, all right. So that's the Timbrecod DC80 4K. I like this little monitor. I would definitely recommend it. It's great for a run and gun situation where you don't want to have to carry extra batteries with you, but if you have a DC out on your camera, something like a DTAP or something like that on your battery, then you can, easily power this from your bigger camera battery or your V-mount battery as well. And it gives you the option of HDMI out too, so you can do pass-through to like HDMI transmitters or what have you. Maybe you need to send the signal to a live switcher. Makes for some great connections if your camera doesn't have them. Anyway, definitely worth checking it out. Thanks for watching the review. There's a link below in the description if you want to check this out on Amazon. It is an affiliate link. We definitely do get a cut of that, but it doesn't cost you anything, so we'd appreciate it if you went for that one. If you want more of these reviews, check out the link here. You can check out our page and see what else we've reviewed on Amazon. Thanks for watching. Room Town.